Okay, welcome to today's 10-minute CEO interview. I've got a couple special guests. I've got Ted O'Brien and Bill Kahler from OK Technology. OK Technologies has a patent-pending product called Serena that improves the quality of life from those folks that suffer from brain ailments like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, strokes. And this is why I wanted to have this interview and talk to you guys, because my mom had strokes and my grandmother had Alzheimer's. So I want to find out a little bit more about your technology. Welcome, guys, and tell me a little bit about what your company does. And
everybody has an internal clock we call it circadian rhythm, and that 24-hour clock controls a lot of body functions. The most importantly is your sleep-wake cycle. What happens during the brain ailments segment there is that these people lose track of time, and they lose track, and their circadian rhythm gets out of whack. So we use circadian lighting and a host of other products that we'll talk about here in a little bit to keep that circadian rhythm in check, and so that the sleep-wake cycle is much better, the quality of life is much better.
And when that's in check with people with brain ailments, what it does is it reduces their outbursts, crying, agitation, confusion. All of that goes down dramatically, anywhere from 40 to 70% reduction in those outward signs that they have a brain ailment.
So tell me exactly what it is. Now, these are going to go into assisted living centers, right? Or
individual homes.
Individual homes.
Okay.
Home kit.
Is it lighting? What's the required setup, and what's the technology behind it?
There's a whole variety of technologies that go in, from lighting to sensors to control mechanisms, from monitoring doors, windows, closets, that kind of stuff. There's aromatherapy. There's a whole variety of things in there because we're tracking everything that's going on in the home. We're tracking the temperature. Here, sleep is important. We need to make sure that the temperature in the house is conducive to sleep. It's not too warm, not too hot, or not too cold that they can't sleep. So we've got a whole variety of different sensors that are going in to help improve the whole environment that they live in.
So this is going to be a center, something where you have a dashboard. You can see what's going on here.
Yep.
And who's monitor is the adult child?
We monitor it.
Yeah,
we give them the reports. We're monitoring what's going on and sending them suggestions and sending them weekly report. We know that they're not getting in. They're too busy with their daily lives to get in and monitor what's going on. So we're sending out weekly reports that provide them with a little dashboard that they can then just see, okay, mom went to bed on average the past week at 9:58. She woke up at 7:40. And then they can click and dive down deeper into those if they want to. But they can see sleep patterns, they can see how much activity they're getting, if there's any confusion going on, if they're eating, well, if they're going to the areas where the food is, like we're recording opening of the refrigerator and the pantry, that kind of stuff, to make sure that they're going. Because one of the problems with people with brain ailments, Bill was talking about how their body clocks are out of whack, and it's not just sleep that's affected, it's also their eating.
I would think that whoever's monitoring that would want that data a lot faster. I'm pretty sure you'll probably have that. I mean, why did you guys start this? Tell me about that.
Yeah, we started the whole circadian lighting package a little over 2 years ago. And about a year ago, not quite a year ago, we developed the home kit, the Serena home kit.
The movement is for people to want to stay at home. They want to age in place, not go to a memory care facility or a nursing home or any of those assisted livings. They would prefer to live in their own home. We know that with people with Alzheimer's, today, 80% of them live in their home.
Oh.
That means only 20% are living in some type of a memory care facility. Where we can have the biggest impact on people is by dealing with it in their homes.
And we also found out that with the circadian lighting providing their circadian rhythms back into place there, we'll be able to keep them in the homes much longer. The quality of life issue is really.
Yeah, I think in Europe they stay in their homes where they grew up in a lot longer than they do. Right. United States, we go, hey, let's get them out of the house and put in an assisted living center. Tell me a little bit about this circadian sleep monitoring system. I mean,
we would say that at about 8 o'clock at night, you want to go to bed at 10 o'clock. So about 8 o'clock at night is when the temperature of the lights starts going down. So we get more of an amber color. And right around that, what they call it Kelvin temperature, right around 2300 temperature, it starts melatonin secretion. Now, melatonin is the activity in our brain. It makes us sleepy. It makes us want to go to bed. All right. So then it's a little aromatherapy, a little lavender scent is squirted in the room. So you have the melatonin secretion happen. You have an lavender scent going on. You get into bed, and about 10 o'clock, you're ready to hit it. Sleep, go into bed, bed sensor, lights out, you're totally in the dark and hopefully sleeping at the time. During the course of the evening, if you have to get up during the course of the evening, when you wake up, the bed sensor will illuminate a walkway to the restroom. They go to the restroom, there's a motion sensor that will activate into the restroom, and a light will come on there, but it's more of a red tint light that will go on there. Red light does not interrupt sleep cycle, all right? So you go in there, the lumens are still high enough in that light so you can see exactly what you're doing in that room, in the restroom. It won't interrupt sleep cycle. We also monitor the time that you spend in there. And after 20 minutes, we don't see you coming back out of the restroom, then that will indicate that there's a possible fall risk, and an alarm will go off to their caretaker or care partner or whoever they have. If it does, they come out, the sensor will activate, that they come back out of the restroom, they hop into bed, they hit the bed sensor, lights out, and away you go. Now, again, all that stuff that I just said is, like we said, is recorded data. So we know exactly when you got up, how many times you got up during the night, all that activity that went on in that room.
My wife was in an car accident about 4 months ago. She was in a rehab center, and most of the patients there are in the elderly care.
Yep.
And I tell you, when they turn on the light, everybody wakes up.
They do.
It like drives you crazy, man. And the body's in the most restorative state when it's sleeping.
Right.
That is correct.
That is correct.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about where you guys are exactly. Do you have unpaid, paid pilots? Your solution to any of these homes?
Yes, we have it in 5 homes right now. Actively, we're gathering data, and it's exactly like we're hoping it would be. And so we just want to get going. We want to be able to get the word out, and we want to be able to install it in more homes. Well, we'll do a subscription agreement in addition to just paying cash up front. We want to develop a subscription agreement, which allow them to make monthly payments on there, and that'll require a little bit of money to buy the inventory.
Yeah. So how much would you charge a customer?
That'll depend on the home there, John. So depending on how big it is, where they spend a vast majority of the time, but we're guesstimating in the neighborhood of $150 to $180 a month is where it would be.
I like that. I mean, do you guys have you seen results so far and say?
Yes.
I mean,
we have. And so everything's status quo right now. Everything is exactly where we thought it would be, and working the way we thought it would be.
So how much are you guys trying to raise?
$250,000.
And is that equity or debt?
Well, we probably will come out of chute as a 2-year convertible debenture at that time. And so at the end of 2 years, we'll see if you're still interested in staying in, at which time you would be trading equity for it. And if not, then we can hopefully would be able to pay off.
So that delays a valuation, but you guys have a valuation, what you think it is worth right now?
Right. And so we're guesstimating in that time frame, it'd be right around 30% of the.
Do you have a sense of what your valuation is right now? If you could say, hey, we think it's a $3 million company, $5 million.
No, we do not have an accurate one for that. Yeah.
So what does winning look like to you guys in source of revenue or adoption or a distributor or somebody, a large manufacturer, buying this and to distribute it their channels?
Both. Right now we're using our own individual markets. We're using our own individual solicitation of business, but we also have other we have other salespeople out there, installers.
Why are you guys doing this? What's the why that makes you cry?
For Bill and I, we both had relatives that suffered from Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and dementia. And to be able to actually watch them go through the torment of those diseases, what they did to their caregivers and really what it did to them. For us, we've got to help them. We've got to give them some hope for the future, that this is not this disastrous thing, that they can have a better quality of life, that they're not just better off dying now, that there is a quality of life that they can have. We want to help them and their caregiver realize some quality of life after that diagnosis.
And we also knew that by employing it into the home and having individual controls for that specific individual, it's not a one size fits all. This deployment in that specific home is for that specific individual, and we will watch the data, on that. So we want to return it into suffering from dementia to living with dementia. We want to make sure that caregiver is living a quality of life as much as the actual client itself.
Guys, thanks for doing this interview. I really appreciate it. I got Ted O'Brien and Bill Kahler from OK Technologies. You guys have a great day.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.